Hi everyone, it's Microwave Sam. Today's tutorial is going to be a live demonstration of how to set up GitHub Pages. Now, GitHub Pages is exactly what this reads, websites for you and your projects. It's hosted directly on the GitHub repository, which you can put a bunch of web files, web page files, onto a GitHub repository, and GitHub will host your website for you. So it'll roll out a website and it'll be live, people can visit it, and it's great for having a short static web page for maybe telling about yourself or about something that you provide. So I'm going to show that today and we'll get right started. So first thing you want to do, it has directions on this web page, pages.github.com, but you want to go to github.com first of all, because we need to create an account on GitHub. And now if you're new to GitHub, I strongly suggest you to go to one of my other tutorials, beginner tutorial for GitHub. It's in my videos. But first thing you want to do is create an account. Now, as we create an account, or maybe you create an account, you can listen on to what I'm saying. GitHub uses a service called Git, which is a version control system, a great system for coders and coding projects. This version control system allows you to, every time you push or basically upload any part of your code to the server, then you can backtrack to any point in time that you committed a change or uploaded a change, and you can download from any other computer. So it's a system that allows you to go back to any version or point in time. It's a time system, time-based system, and it's also good for storing on server, so you don't have to bring around your code. You have a reliable system that has your code everywhere you go, and you can access it on any other computer. Now we're going to sign in after you create an account. And first thing you want to do is go to this plus symbol where you can create a new repository. Now, repositories are basically folders uploaded onto the GitHub server. It's basically sections or contained, files, like a folder with your contained files. So your repository name should be your username.github.io. So based on what you create your username, I'm going to type in my username, then I'm going to type .github.io. And that's our repository name, which is basically the name of the folder. Now you can give a little description. You can have it a public or private repository. And usually I like to initialize with a README. README is for documentation. Says a little bit thing about it's basically the description of your repository. And then as for git ignore, we don't need that because we're just going to create a static page. And then you just create a repository with the green button. Now, once your repository is created, it gives you this link. So if you go to this link at the top and go to it, you'll see that it is everything inside of your folder for that repository. So all it has is this README, and the README appears over here. It just says my username.github.io. Now, after we've done that, we want to copy this link. Now you can copy it from the top, or you can go over here and then copy to clipboard. And then it copies to your clipboard. There's a really good program for if you're uncomfortable with using the terminal. You can save it with this little button. Use it with GitHub Desktop. But we're going to use the terminal just because it's better if you learn it. Then you'll have a better understanding of GitHub, and then you can do it in the future easily. So if you're using Windows 8, you can go search, and we want to search for something called the PowerShell. PowerShell is this little Unix style, the closest to Unix or POSIX that you're going to get. So if you've ever used Linux, it's the closest to a terminal of Linux. So it's going to start you off at your user name, your user, and if you cd to your desktop, I'm going to save the folder or clone the folder, download the folder to my desktop. CD is for changing directory, and then you just want to do capital desktop. You press enter. Now, after you do that, PowerShell comes with Git on the PowerShell system. So the command that you're going to type is git clone, And then you're going to copy, well, since we already copied the link, we can just right click and then I'll paste the link inside the PowerShell. So this is the command. You want to git clone and copy whatever the link is, or use the clipboard copy system on the GitHub website and paste it in. Then you press enter. Now this is going to clone into a folder named username.github.io, and then it is going to save it onto your desktop. So if we cd change directory into that username, if you tab, it'll autocomplete, and then it goes into the folder named my username.github.io. So if we type in ls for listing the contents of the directory, we can see whatever's inside. And what we see is there's a readme and a .git. Now, GitHub Pages uses index.html as a home page. And if you're familiar with how websites, normal HTML static websites work, usually people started off with index.html as their main page. So let's see if this command works. If you touch index.html, it should create a file called index.html, or at least it does it in Linux. So if we do this, we type in ls, it created a file called index.html inside this directory. So that's the first step, create index.html. Now we want to edit it. So let's see if I can use Notepad to open up this file. Yes, it works. Now I opened it up with Notepad because you might not have some normal coding type of programs that people nowadays, the trend is, the popular program is Sublime or Notepad++. So we're just going to use Notepad because you might not have those two programs. But I strongly suggest Sublime or Notepad++ because they have great features such as syntax detection and just support for languages, as well as a lot of plugins. So now that we open index.html in our Notepad, we want to write a little bit of HTML syntax or HTML words. Now HTML is hypertext markup language, which is basically the little type of style that HTML web pages are set up currently, and it uses the extension .html. So without further ado, we're gonna type in doctype HTML and /HTML. So HTML files use a tag system. First off, this top part where I do a less than exclamation point, doctype in capitals, space, HTML, greater than sign. This is basically defining this file. Even though it has extension.html, we need to define the whole file, and the rest of what comes after this little line is going to be HTML syntax, HTML language. So then, HTML is based on a tag system. There's usually a header tag and an ending tag. And the header tags are defined with a less than and greater than sign, and then inside. So this would be called the HTML header tag. And then the ending tag is usually defined as less than with a /HTML and a greater than sign. So now that we have that underway, we can create a body. So HTML files usually have a body. The body is the main contents of your web page. So what we're going to do is body, and then with a little /body. So inside, we're just going to create a little bit, let's say, hello world, right? My name is Microwave Sam. So if you were creating an actual web page, you'd tell about yourself, you'd show what you've done. This is about, I'm kind of talking in the sense that you're making a web page for yourself and who you are. You want people to know who you are, right? So you do a hello world, my name is Microwave Sam. And then you can Control S, or you can file save to save the file. And then after you've done that, now what you need to do is you can git add. Now git add is used for adding files into this little basically how git add works is you're adding a file ready to deploy or ready to upload. So you're prepping up the file, basically. That's how GitHub works. So when you add a file, when you use git add, it's just preparing. It's not uploaded yet, but you're preparing for the file to be uploaded. Now, GitHub works on a series of changes. When you change a file and then you want to push it up, you use git add. Now, git add start uploads everything, uploads all the changed files. But GitHub add index starts to prepare that one file. So GitHub add start starts to prepare all the files that have been changed. Now we're just gonna add index.html and then press enter. Now it doesn't give you a notice of what it just did, but you can do git status to see what changes are ready, what files have been changed to commit. So we added index.html, and then Git expects you to leave a message. Basically, whenever you upload something, GitHub expects you to say what you actually did. You can write any type of message, even if it's not very descriptive. So to do that, you do git commit, and git commit is just another way of saying, hey, I left a message of what I uploaded. This is what I did. -m is just an abbreviation for message. So your git commit message, or you're saying git leave a message. And then in quotes, you want to leave a message. So I'm going to say added index.html. So over here, a little close up, you git commit -m, and then you leave a message of what you added. So I said I added my index.html. And I'm going to press enter. Now, it gives you a little bit of stuff. It says one file change, some insertions for a number of lines, I'm assuming. And it gives you some things where you can set up the global username, global email. We don't need to worry about this. Now, once you commit something, it's still in the preparation stage, or the staging area. You know, you left the message, you added it to the preparation stage. Now you're going to actually do the uploading. And to do the uploading, you type in git push origin master. So what origin means is when you git clone something, git clone has all these settings. It has where it came from. The origin is basically the link that it came from. So when you git clone, you're downloading that whole folder and some git files, and those git configurations say where it came from. It came from this link, and this link is this link up here. So it knows where it came from. That's the origin. It's just another way of saying the link where it came from. Now, if we git push origin master down here, we say the master branch. GitHub works in a series of branches where you can have different versions of your GitHub. You can have multiple branches where you upload to different sections. Like, you could have a version where it has all your files, and that could be the master branch. Then you can make another branch called branch 2, which only has some of your files, not all of them. It's just different versions of your folder system, basically. So master branch is the main branch, and we're going to leave it as one branch because we're going to the master branch is what's going to be visible. It's going to be the main branch that uploads to a page, and what github.io or what your username.github.io will see. So when you git push origin master, you need to type in your username and then your password, and it uploads to the site. Now if we refresh, the uploads take immediately. It says added index.html. Cool. And if we'll click on index.html, it has our file on it. So we push the file. Now what's going to happen? Well, this is going to happen. If you go to your username.github.io, like so, you'll see the changes will take a while to take place. It may take up to 30 minutes until your page is available, or you're trying to publish one. Now, it'll take some time until the page is available because I uploaded it. And GitHub is this huge system. There's a lot of users who are using these GitHub web pages. So it'll take a second, 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes really quick to 2 minutes. But in the meanwhile, we're going to hook it up to a CNAME, or basically to a domain name that we have already. So what I mean by that, let's say if you want to put it up to like your website, like mywebsite.com. Maybe you don't want to use abbreviation, username.github.io, because people will see, hey, it's hosted by GitHub, but you want to make it that it's your own personal site. You have a .com. I know a lot of people like .coms because it's the norm, it's the standard. Now on Namecheap, it's pretty easy to find a new domain name. When you find a new domain name, you could say, like, let's say I want mywebsite.com. You search it, see if it's available. If it is available, then you can purchase it for an average of $10 a year. And I'd say, hey, that's a pretty decent deal for a website. Although if you have a lot of them, then it can get expensive. So I'm going to refresh this page. It's taking a while. But we're going to go also to Namecheap. And one thing is, if you don't have an account already, you should make an account. Now, if I look over here, mywebsite.com is taking, and I can make an offer to the current owner, but we're not going to do that. Usually, you need to pay some big money to buy from another owner. But it shows all the website domain names that are available. Mywebsite.nyc is available, but it's pretty costly. So I've already bought a domain for this tutorial. I'm going to log into my username and password. If you already have a Namecheap account, then you can sign in. But if you don't have one, you can sign up. So once you sign in and bought a domain, you'll see number of domains in your account. Now I'm going to go to view. And I see all the domains on my account. I'm going to use chimeflow.com as an example. I bought it using a voucher because I was given a voucher and it was free for me. So I bought a random lame name for a website. Now once you click on your domain, so in this case chimeflow.com, you can go to all host records at the left underneath host management. Now when you modify domain, you want to add host name. So delete whatever is over there already, and you want to add these two. So the IP address is using hostname with the @ symbol, 192.30.252.153. Then you add a record type of A address, 192.30.252.154. You want to add both of these A address. So I'm just going to do this again so you know. I'm going to delete these. Basically, you want to delete everything in there. And then you want to just save. So by default, you might have something over here and something over here. You want to delete those too. So for this host name at the @ you want to put first 192.30.252.153. You want to do an A address. You can leave this empty because it's going to give you a number. And then you add another one. This one is the same one as the top one, but with 154 at the end. And then you want to do another A address. And then finally, down here, you want to do www.yourusername.github.io and then a dot at the end. Then for the record type, you want to do a CNAME. So after you've done that, you want to save. Oh, wait. Invalid. Hostname www. Should not be. Okay, I know the issue. I added an extra dot in the beginning. That was the issue here. So, before I had added a dot right over here at this little place, and that was the problem. So you want to do it without a dot, but make sure you have the dot at the end of that CNAME. Now you're gonna have to save. Okay, it worked. Now let's see if this is up already. Okay, it's not up, but I'm gonna speed up the video and I'll tell you how long it took me for it to be viewable. Okay, well that took a long time. Now if we go to my username.github.io, you can go to your username.github.io. You can see we added the index.html page to our repo. Where's my repo? Index.html, and it appears on our webpage. So now you can add some styling with CSS, some more HTML files, and then you can have a full-fledged website. You can make it clean and look nice. Now, one thing to finish up when connecting to your host name on your domain name on Namecheap is that we need to add a file onto our repo. Now, to do that, we'll go over here and we'll create another file called cname. Now, cname is just another way of connecting. Cname is like a redirect, right? It connects to another domain name. So in this case, we need to create a file called cname. GitHub Pages uses this file for redirections. And now we're going to open up Notepad again. Remember what I said, touch is creating the file. So we just create a file called cname. Now we're going to use Notepad to edit. We're going to press enter, and it opens up cname. Now all you need inside this file is saying the name of the website. In my case, it's chimeflow.com. And then all you do is save, Control S. You can exit out. Now what we're going to do is going to review over the commands that we just did. What we normally do is you do git add, and then you add the file, which is cname. Then you git commit -m message, added cname. Over here it says git add, git status. Let me check the status to see what's the issue. Untracked files. Git add file to include in what is nothing added to commit, but untracked files present. Use git add to track. So something weird is happening where cname is not being added. So one solution is force adding with the -f. So when you ever have something that won't be added, you can use -f to force add. So now I'm gonna commit again, and it commits cname. Now the last step, so what I just did was git add -f to force add this file. And remember, it goes to this staging area, preparation area, where it's not ready to upload, but we're just giving it a message where I said add cname. Now you git push origin master to push it to the link and to that master branch, the main branch, what's going to be viewable. Then you press enter, username, and password, and it's gonna go into the repository on GitHub. Now we refresh, a cname is added. Now we should go to chimeflow.com, and it's gonna take a while for the domain name service to take effect. The domain names take even longer. So my username.github.io took about 30 minutes to come up. A new repository with your username.github.io, GitHub Pages take about 30 minutes. Now for these cnames, getting this up, connecting the domain name with your github.io GitHub page, it might take a day, so it'll take a while. I remember setting this up, took about a day to set up, so it's going to take quite a while for the cname file to get this redirect to chimeflow.com, and these settings on my host records for the domain to take effect. So I need to show you that it works, so I'm gonna speed up the video and get that, showing that it's working for you guys. Okay, so that did not take long at all. It only took about 45 minutes. So if I go to chimeflow.com, it says, "Hello world, my name is Microwave Sam." But if I also go to my username.github.io, It also redirects to chimeflow.com and says, "Hello world, my name is Microwave Sam." So now I use the Namecheap domain name to be the default name for my username.github.io, my GitHub page. So that's how you set up Namecheap or maybe another domain name service with your GitHub page. So that's all there is to it. Hopefully it was in-depth. This tutorial was meant to be very beginner friendly. And thanks for watching, everyone. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and see you guys later.